First of all, I want to thank Luke for the terrain and everything like that. It can be really rough for me to get around. It's built up my muscles really good. Don't have to work out for the next week or so. I want to thank Mandy for allowing me to do this. Thank you so much. My name is Ken Reid, and I'm a T4, T5 paraplegic. Now, what I mean by T4, T5 is the level at which I'm paralyzed. It's basically the mid-chest area down. In 1990, I was on the Professional Bowlers Tour, and me and a buddy used to travel up and down the East Coast, bowling in tournaments and pot games. Yes, they were pot games, but no, we were not bowling for pot. A pot game is where everybody puts up $5 or $10, and the winner takes all. We used to do really well at bowling in these tournaments, and we'd heard that there were some tournaments down in North Carolina. We were living in Virginia Beach, Virginia at the time, and it's probably about an hour away. So we figured we'd jump in the car and head on down to North Carolina and bowl in some pot games. Well, we didn't bowl very, very well at all that day, and so we decided we were going to head to the local bar and drink our worries away. I didn't drive, so I knew that I could get totally wasted and I didn't have to worry about anything. My buddy, he drank too, but he didn't drink as much as I did, so I figured we were fine. Well, it came around time for us to get ready to leave, and we piled into the car, and when I got in the car, I didn't put my seatbelt on, and my buddy did. He put his seatbelt on, and he told me that the speedometer, it was a 1987 Corvette, said the speedometer does something wild when it gets up to 100 miles an hour. He said, "You want to try it?" And I said, "Let's do it. Go for it." Those words would change my life and his life forever. He took the car up to 100 miles an hour. We came around a bend, and we couldn't make the turn. We hit a ditch and flipped the car end over end 4 or 5 times. Me without my seatbelt on, I flew out through the top of the T-roofs and landed in a ditch. I broke all my ribs, lacerated my liver, broke my collarbone in 4 places. I suffered a brachial plexus injury, which is where I was holding on to the door handle trying not to fly out of the car. And I ripped all the tendons and muscles in my arm and landed on my right shoulder. Suffered a closed head injury, and I broke my back in the T4, T5 area, paralyzing me. I was in bad shape. In 1990, the technology they had back then was nothing compared to what they've got now. They told my parents each time that they came to see me that I wasn't going to make it through the night. But they had strong faith that I would, and I did. I spent 6 weeks in ICU, 2 months in step down, and another 2 months in rehabilitation. A total of 6 months out of my life was gone. When I first got out of rehabilitation, I didn't know what to do. I had no clue what was going on. My life was in shambles. Assistive technology then was just really starting out. They had vans back then that they had the power doors that would open up, and a lift would come out and lower down and down and down. You get onto the lift, it'd raise you up, raise you up, raise you up. When it was raining or snowing, it was really slow. You would get soaking wet. But nowadays, the technology they've got are lowered floor vans that you just basically roll up into. You basically can get tied down, and then you can actually pull up behind the steering wheel and drive from your wheelchair. It's amazing technology they've got now. Nothing like what they had back then. When I first got injured, I thought to myself, my life is over. It's not going to have any kind of meaning to it. But through inclusion of people letting you know that, yes, you can still make it. You can still make a life out of yourself. I kept going. The technology that they've got now has helped me out so much and helped out so many people. I'm an assistive technology specialist for the Utah Center for Assistive Technology. And what we do is we do evaluations for people all the time. And there's so many people that's helped out. If you think of someone that can't speak, that can't do sign language, they've got a program now, thanks to Steve Jobs, with the iPad, that you can actually touch the screen and actually have it speak for you what you want it to say. You basically just touch buttons, and then you hit send, and it says what you want to say. They've even got eye gaze technology, where you don't even have to touch anything. You basically just look at it, dwell on it for a while, and it clicks on it. And then you click on another thing, and you can actually make a full sentence to actually send to somebody. It's amazing technology. They've even got a program now called Dragon Naturally Speaking, where you actually just talk to your computer. You don't even have to touch anything. You basically just talk to the computer. It'll type out your message, type out your email, or whatever you want to say, and you send it. That's the type of technology that's out there right now. Like I said, when I first got injured, none of this was around. The wheelchairs that we had back then were really slow. They went about 3 to 4 miles an hour. They were belt-driven, and they weren't very fast. Now, I don't use a power chair because I want to try to keep my upper body in shape as much as I can. So I don't use a power chair. But when I want to go out to, a party or a park or something like that, I'll use a power chair to get around. But the power chairs they had back then, back in 1990, were nothing compared to what they got now. They've got power chairs now that'll go up to 8 to 10 miles an hour. They've even made some that'll go to 15 miles an hour. That's amazing. I don't know about you, but I really don't want to see grandma or grandpa flying down the sidewalk at 8 to 10 miles an hour at me, but they can. That technology is there now. It's amazing. I try to keep my body in shape as much as I can. And with wheelchairs and everything like that, you're able to do that. With a manual chair, you can keep yourself in shape by just pushing around. The chairs, when I first got injured, weighed about 45 to 50 pounds. That was the manual chairs, standard manual chairs. And they had lightweight wheelchairs that weighed around about 32 pounds. It was so nice to get in one of those chairs compared to one of those hospital-type chairs because it was a lot easier to get around and be more independent. They've got chairs now that weigh around 11 to 12 pounds. And I've even heard just the other day, they've got a chair coming out that's going to weigh 3.3 pounds. I don't know how it's possible with the wheels and everything like that, but that technology is on the way. That's where we've been. Where are we going? What's technology got in store for us in the future? I tell you what, it's amazing. Can you picture somebody that can't operate their hands whatsoever? They've got technology now that they can actually operate a power wheelchair just by using their head, by using their head array system to move their chair around. They push the chair their head to the left, makes the chair turn to the left, right to the right, makes it go right. They put their head back on the pad and it makes it go forward. They take it off and it stops. They've got sip and puff power chairs now, where you don't even have to use your hands at all. You basically just sip to make the chair go or puff to make the chair stop. It's amazing technology. But where they're going with this, can you imagine eye gaze technology in a power chair? Just looking where you want to go and it goes there. You look away and it stops. It's amazing. Just the thought of it is unbelievable. The hand controls they got now were just, back when I was injured, it was basically push in for the brake, pull down for the accelerator. They've got guys coming back from the war that are triple amputees. They've lost an arm, they've lost 2 legs. They're still able to drive a car. And you think to yourself, how is that possible, Ken? How can they drive a car? They can't steer a steering wheel. They've got a hand control now, an apparatus they can put their arm in. They turn it to the left and it turns the steering wheel to the left. They turn it to the right, turns the steering wheel to the right. They push into the brake, they pull back to the accelerator. They can do everything with one arm now. That technology is here now. Technology means so much to a disabled person, and it's come so far. But I asked you earlier where it's going. The mayor just mentioned it. Autonomous cars, autonomous vans. You're going to have a time that you're going to be able to pull up to a van, push a button, or not even push a button, just pull up to the van, and it's going to open the door. A lift's going to come out from the floor. You're going to pull up into the van. It's going to lock you down. A belt's going to come across you and secure you in the chair. And then you're going to say to the van, take me to the mall. Take me to mom's house. Take me wherever you want to go. It's going to take you there. That is coming. Autonomous vehicles are going to be here. I don't know how we're going to be able to deal with it with everybody else driving around and idiots out on the road, but it's coming. That's the technology that's out there. It's down the road. All I can say is this. I'm so happy to be alive and in this time with the technology we have out now. I can't wait for what's in the future down the road that's coming. Thank you for inviting me to speak today, and I really want you to think about assistive technology and how it might possibly help you in the future. Thank you.